All right. Welcome to everyone who's joined the session. This is the 3 o'clock session talking about building intelligent bots for teams and using the Microsoft bot. Uh, Prashant Boyar is our presenter. He is a Microsoft MVP and certified Microsoft professional. Currently works with as a senior solution architect at Witham Digital. He's trusted advisor and subject as me in intelligent business process automation. So kind of follows some of the robotic process automation we just watched. He serves on the leadership committee for the Azure Data Fest conference. It's an also the Artificial Intelligence Fest conference, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning User Group, DC Metro Office 365 Group, the Northern Virginia User Group, SharePoint Saturday Baltimore event, which is always a good event. I've been there myself, and the SharePoint Saturday DC. He's been doing. I know I've met Prashant many years ago. I think in Philly, but I may have met him
Mhm.
down in Baltimore. But he's been doing this for a long time, so lots of solid information. And from there, I'll let you take over.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us today. The rock is building intelligent bots for teams using Microsoft Bot Framework and cognitive services. First of all, we would like to thank the organizers and also the sponsors to um, take all the hard work to organize this event, and do that for 3 days takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts. So kudos to that, and definitely check out the links for the various sponsors we have: the Tri-State Office 65 user group, the Soho Dragon, and the Tech Platform. Because without the sponsorship, having this kind of community events is really. So definitely check those links out. Who am I? My name is Prashant Ji Boyer. I was born and raised in India, came to United States back in 2007. I co-authored a book, PowerShell for Office 65. I also acted as a technical reviewer for the book Pro SharePoint 2013 edition. As Rob mentioned, I in the Washington DC metropolitan area. One of the user group is on AI machine learning. Second one is on Office 65 SharePoint. Third one is on SQL. And along with the user groups, we also organize a lot of free or community events in the DC area. Until COVID-19, most of the events used to be in-person events, but now we have converted all the events to the virtual events. So we just organize a global Azure Data Fest on July 2nd, and there is additional event coming up called Global AI Machine Learning Fest on July 31st, which will run from 10 a.m. time. And if you are interested in exploring various options available in Microsoft ecosystem in AI and machine learning space, definitely join us on July 31st. And I also help organize Baltimore and DC SharePoint Saturday events as well. I'm a recipient of Antarctic Service Medal, and from last 4 years, I'm also recipient of Microsoft MVP Award. Those of you who are not familiar with MVP Award, so I don't work for Microsoft. It's just the additional recognition that Microsoft gives out to the folks who does technical contribution in various product categories. And those technical contributions can be in the form of writing blogs, answering people's questions on various forums, providing direct feedback to the Microsoft product group, or speaking at various conferences. For initial 2 years, I was SharePoint MVP. Last year, I made a transition to AI MVP. And the typical cycle is we get awarded on July 1st, and then that award is valid for 12 months. And after 12 months, we have to reapply and submit all our contributions. So fortunately, I got rewarded again on July 1st this year. So I will be an AI MVP for next 12 months. I'm currently working as a senior solution architect with Witham Digital. We used to call Porto Solutions before, and Witham acquired us 3 years before. And right now I focus on intelligent business process automation, and my work location is in Bethesda, Maryland, which is very near to Washington, DC. This is the company. We have 3 Microsoft MVPs on this. We have done 100 plus Microsoft cloud deployments, and we have 50 plus consultants dedicated to Microsoft. And we have been providing services in Microsoft ecosystem from many years. We are Microsoft Gold partner from 17 years, and these are the various capabilities that we have. So if you are in, since this topic is on the bots, and if you are interested to know more about the bots and AI and machine learning in general, you can join us on July 31st for a free virtual event, and you can find the information about those on the meetup site as well. So this is the agenda for this talk. So we'll start with why bots, what is Microsoft Bot Framework, what is Azure Bot Service, how to get started, what is Microsoft Cognitive Services, how to deploy custom bots in Teams. We'll have demos, key takeaways, and Q&A. Even though I mentioned Q&A towards the end, feel free to ask your questions at any time. I have dual screen and okay. Okay, I have dual screen and I can monitor the questions as well. All right. So why this session? Like why in an event which is dedicated to Microsoft 365, why should be spending time to learning about bots? Like so let's talk about that. So I personally think because of all the advancements that are happening in the computation, the technical industry in general is focusing on using AI and machine learning in business application. You may be hearing a lot of buzz in the media about the driverless car or autonomous car. The reason all these big corporations have those because of the advancement we have made in the computation. And I personally think the AI and ML space is at the same level right now when mobile development was when 2007 when Apple launched iPhone 1, very few organizations were writing software for the mobile devices. Fast forward 13 years, if you are working for enterprise or if you're working for a product development company, and if you are writing a new product or a new application, chances are you want to make sure that application or product works on mobile device. The same thing will happen in next 2-3 years where the AI and machine learning will be the mainstream. And this shift will happen without even we realizing it. Like the shift mobile devices happen slowly and gradually. And if you join any company right now, whether it's a government organization or a non-profit or commercial, they expect you that you have a smartphone and they expect smartphone to get some work done, be it checking the emails or using those devices for multi-factor authentication. So similarly, I personally think in next 2-3 years, we will be expected to use the devices which uses AI and machine learning in them. One of the key stats I would like to mention here from the holiday season of 2017, where Amazon sold millions of Alexa devices. And Alexa is nothing but a voice-based bot from from Amazon. Similarly, we have Google Home from Google, Cortana from Microsoft, IBM Watson from IBM. So these kind of devices are nothing but a voice-based bot. And the shift we have seen in the industry is an iPhone is a good example where once iPhone got popular in people's personal life, sooner or later we found that those devices enter the workspace as well. Same is the case with this kind of devices. If millions and millions of people will be using Alexa at home or Google Home or Cortana for their personal lives, sooner or later you will find these kind of devices sitting at your work location as well. And you as a developer or you as an IT pro or a user need to know how these devices work, how to use these devices to get your work done, and how to maintain these devices, and also how to write application which will work on these devices. Another key thing that we have to keep in mind is to use AI and machine learning today, you don't have to be a data scientist. All these corporations like Amazon, they have democratized AI and machine learning. So without even knowing the things that go behind the scene, we can still use AI learning as a service. One of the analogies I would like to give you here is if you have done any kind of web development and if you have used the popular frameworks like the Angular, React, or Knockout, you as a developer don't need to understand how this frameworks called build from the ground up. All you need to know is how to use this framework so you can build the application using that. Same is the case with AI as a services from this various vendors where you don't need to know the data science part of it. All you need to know is how to use the services in your application. So the approach, okay. So this is the mission statement from Microsoft where they want to make AI and data science is accessible to everyone, and it doesn't matter what your role is. And a lot of the product and services that Microsoft is releasing these days are actually a result of this uh, this mission statement. So let's talk about why we should use a bot. So we have seen this situation a lot where if you are running a help desk in your organization, and let's say if you launch a new initiative, and if you have a really good documentation around that initiative, you'll see more and more people, like most of the people will not read the documentation, but they will directly pick up the call, like help desk phone, and then or they will pick up the help desk system, and then they will just open a new issue because they don't want to read the entire documentation. So we can definitely use bots for this kind of scenario where bots will be your first line of defense. And if a user has any question, they will ask the bot first. And if the bot is able to answer that well enough, otherwise the control will come to actual human help desk agent. So bots gives you more natural computer interaction, and also it helps you to automate a lot of repetitive tasks and free up the resources. If you ask any help desk agency or help desk division, and if you ask them like, okay, how many tickets do you think like a technician have to spend a lot of time to work on it? The chances are 50 to 60% tickets will be very trivial tickets where you can have bots to answer that. And so that way your actual help desk person will be able to dedicate more and more time on complicated issues which are not trivial. Also, bots will be available all the time, and you can access bots from wherever you are. Like you can access bots from web, from mobile, from car, from cell phones as well. And also, if the implementation of bots is done right, you can access the bots will adapt to the user depending on the circumstances as well. Bots are also latest, and also they looks appealing as well, provided their implementation is right. And if the implementation of the bot is right, it also simplifies the UI. Of using bots or developing bots using Microsoft Bot Framework is it supports multiple channel. That means if I create a bot, I can deploy that bot to multiple channels. And channel here, don't take the channel in the context of Microsoft Teams here. Channel means different devices. That means if I create a bot using Microsoft Bot Framework, I can deploy that bot as a web chat. I can deploy that to Microsoft Teams, to the Facebook, to the Slack, to a Skype, to other channels as well without writing additional lines of code. And also bot may help you to connect with young users as well. So when it comes to, let's say you are convinced that, okay, now I need to create a bot, then let's find out what are the options available today in Microsoft ecosystem for creating the bots. So we have two options right now. Option number one, which is software as a service, and option number two is a platform as a service. So under software as a service, we have something called Power Virtual Agents. Power Virtual Agents is part of Microsoft Power Platform group, and Microsoft announced about Power Virtual Agents back in November 2019 Ignite. It basically provides you a no-code experience for bot development, and it's ideal for business users and experts to easily build a bot. And if you are interested finding more about Power Virtual Agent, just go to this link. And here you can sign up for the free trial, and you can find out how easy it is to create a bot. The second option we have is platform as a service, under which we have Microsoft Bot Framework. Microsoft Bot Framework is an open source SDK and tools, and its purpose is to build for to build bot development. And it's ideal for developers. You need to be a developer to build a bot using Microsoft Bot Framework. There is one use case where if you have access to Azure and if you have access to Q&A Maker, using that and using bot framework, you can create a bot without writing a single line of code. However, that's the only thing you can do. Apart from that, if you had to do any kind of customization, you need to be a developer to do that. And you can check us out more about the Microsoft Bot Framework by going to this link. And in today's talk, I will not be covering Power Virtual Agent. We will be focusing more and more on Microsoft Bot Framework. So when it comes to the integration between the Power Virtual Agents and Microsoft Bot Framework, one thing I would like to highlight here is, even though Power Virtual Agent is from Power Platform Group, it's actually built on the top of Microsoft Bot Framework. That means under the hood, it's still using Microsoft Bot Framework. There is a really good integration story available where, let's say in your organization, you're already using Microsoft Bot Framework. You have created 3 or 4 custom bots. And since Power Virtual Agents are new, you want to do an integration between a Power Virtual Agent and a custom bot created between using Microsoft Bot Framework. We can do that using something called a Microsoft Bot Framework skills, where you can deploy your custom built bots as a bot framework skill, and you can call those bot framework skill from Power Virtual Agent. When it comes to uh, creating the bots, if you are using Microsoft Bot Framework, and if you would like to make your bot intelligent, you have to infuse AI in it. Like that is not available out of the box. That is something you have to add. And when it comes to AI in Microsoft ecosystem, we have Azure AI, and under apps and agent, we have Azure Bot Service and Azure Cognitive Services. Under knowledge mining, we have Azure Cognitive Search. And under machine learning, we have Azure Databricks, Azure Machine Learning, and Azure AI Infrastructure. And if you use the combination of cognitive services along with bot service, then you can create intelligent bot where the bots will have a human edge, and it will be able to take care of a lot of complicated stuff for you, provided you add support for it. So if you are interested exploring more information in Microsoft AI stack, you can follow these links where you can find more information about cognitive services here. You can find more information about bots here. There are really good tutorials about bot service, and there are some good shows on Channel 9 called AI shows. And also you can go through some free tutorials on aischool.microsoft.com as well. So if you're like me, as I mentioned before, I was a SharePoint MVP, and then I made a transition as an AI MVP. So 3-4 years before, I wanted to learn the latest and greatest information in Microsoft AI stack, but I was confused where to start. So you can follow this flowchart where, depending on when to use what, first question you can ask is whether you are interested in learning about data science and machine learning, and you would like to build your own machine learning model. If the answer is yes, then the product or service for you is the Azure Machine Learning. If you are like me, where you're more interested in consuming those services, then the cognitive services and bots are for you. We are already familiar with bots in our personal life. If you are a customer of a major financial institution like Capital One, Citigroup, or Bank of America, and if you call their help desk or customer service number, chances are the first line of defense for this financial institution is always a voice-based bot. And that bot will ask you some questions, and depending on your answers, it will either give you that information or it will connect you to a human agent. So we're already familiar with this kind of bots in our personal life, and slowly bots are entering the workspace as well. And if you had to create the custom bot, then we can use something called Microsoft Bot Framework. Now let's talk about what is Microsoft Bot Framework. As I mentioned, Microsoft Bot Framework is an open source SDK and tools available for us to build a custom bot. Now, one thing I want you guys to take home from this talk is a bot in reality is nothing but a website with a different kind of user interface. So if you have built a website, and it doesn't matter what kind of technology stack you have used, the similar concept goes here, where you had to build a website, and Microsoft Bot Framework is the kind of framework you use. And then to add the human edge to your bot, you use something called cognitive services. Again, cognitive services are optional because cognitive services are from Microsoft. If you are an IBM shop or if you're a Google shop, you can use the AI as a services from those vendors as well. and then you deploy your bot to various channels, and the list of channels is ever increasing. Some of the channels are free channels, some of the channels are premium channels. So your code will go here and you'll build a web service or a website using the Microsoft Bot framework. You will integrate that. You will add the support for intelligence using something like Microsoft Congress Services, and then you deploy your bot to various channels. These are the various channels which are supported, and Microsoft is working hard to add support to additional channels as well. So that brings us to the questions. If the bots are nothing but a website with different kind of user interface, so where we can host this? If I'm talking about creating a custom bot using Microsoft Bot Framework, where I can host that? So you have two options right now. One is you can host in Azure Bot Service, but for this you need to have an Azure subscription. But this is a highly recommended approach because you will get the maximum benefit in terms of maximum integration with Microsoft ecosystem. If you are not a Microsoft shop, or if you already have access to other public clouds like Google Cloud or AWS or IBM Cloud, then you can host the bots in the virtual machines. And those virtual machines can be in the Azure or any other public cloud, or you can also host the bots in on-premise server as well. Like if you have any regulatory restriction where you cannot use any of the public cloud, you can still host these custom bots on your on-premise server. So one of the classic example I can give you here is if your company is using on-premise SharePoint servers, and if you would like to write bots which will work on that, you can co-locate those bots along with the SharePoint server as well. However, since you will be doing the hosting of the bots, you'll have to do a lot of additional work. And if you run into any issues, then you have to work with Microsoft on that, because not many organizations host bots themselves. Most of them go with the Azure Bot Service, and you will see tons of helps and guidance available on that over the internet. So when it comes to the bot development is fairly new. Like a lot of product development companies or ISVs or organizations are writing bots maybe in last 3 to 4 years. If you compare that with mobile development or website development, we have tons and tons of experience available for that. So when it comes to the bot development, so this is the flow chart you should be following, where first and foremost is you should be spending a lot of time in planning, where you design what kind of user interface the bot will have. You will be spending some time designing that user interface and what kind of information you would like to show to the bot. Then the next step is the build step, where you use something like a bot builder SDK, and then you build your bot. If you would like to add a human edge to your bot or some kind of intelligence, then you use something called cognitive services. And there are some templates already available from Microsoft where you can use those templates and get started with that. Then another cool thing that Microsoft has developed is called Microsoft Bot Emulator, where you can test your bots locally. And the emulator is cross-platform. That means you can use emulator not only on Windows devices, but on Apple devices and in Linux machines as well. And you can use something called Application Insights to basically track how your bot is doing. Application Insight is another service in Azure where it gives you a telemetry of various things. If you are not familiar with Application Insights, then Google Analytics work on the same fashion, where it gives you the analytics of how your application is working as long as you add the tracking code in it. Same way the application insight works. However, it will give you more uh, features, and also you need to have Azure subscription to use application insights. Then you will publish your bots. When it comes to publishing, you can publish to the Azure, or you can also publish to your own web host as well. And then you connect your bot to various channels that are available. And then the last piece, which is evaluation phase, where you'll be constantly evaluating your bot, like in terms how your bot is working, whatever the questions or information that your users are seeking, is bot is able to answer that or not. And depending on those insights, then you make some changes in the bot, and again you go through the cycle again. So when it comes to the Microsoft ecosystem, if you would like to infuse any kind of AI in your bot, so under conversational AI stack, we have these services available. One of the services is Language Understanding Intelligence Service, or short form is LUIS, where it helps you to understand the intent of the user. Then we have Azure Search, Q&A Maker. It's a very popular service to get started with the bots, because using Q&A Maker, you can create a working bot using your existing knowledge base in few minutes or few hours. Then there is a Bing Speech API. We have speaker recognition API, translator, and then there is a custom speech service available as well. So with that, I want to pause here and see if there are any questions before we go jump into the demo part. So any questions so far, Rob?
Not so far. I haven't seen any pop up in the question Q&A yet.
Okay, all right. So let's see a next demo of creating a custom bot using Visual Studio. So with that, let me launch the Visual Studio. And I will also launch the emulator, bot framework emulator. So if you don't see the templates to create the bots inside your Visual Studio, that means you have to do some additional steps. And for that, the best way to do is just Google or Bing the Microsoft Bot Framework templates, and you will find that. Okay, it's taking a lot. Okay, so the Visual Studio is available here. So let me create a new project. And I will just type a bot. And the bot I was looking for is the Echo bot. Let's see Echo bot. OK, and then click next. Let's give it a name, EcoBot M36501, and I will be storing that in a temp directory, and let's click create. So if you don't see this option, that means you in your Visual Studio, that means you haven't installed the required tools. Another thing, Microsoft Bot Framework is a cross-platform. That means you can also use Node.js. You can use Python. Oh, sorry, let me take that back. You can use multiple languages to create bots using Microsoft Bot Framework. So you can use C#, you can use Java, you can use Node.js, and you can also use Python. However, if you would like to deploy the bot to the Azure Bot Service, then right now only the support for C# and Node.js is available. Microsoft is working hard on adding the support for Java as well as Python in Azure Bot Service. So what I did is I just created a hello world bot, and next thing I will be doing is I will be running this bot locally on my machine, and I will be just debugging that. And if everything goes right, the Visual Studio should launch the bot in the new window. And if everything is working fine, we will get a message that the bot is working as expected on my local machine. All right, so the bot is ready. So we can test this bot locally on our machine, and you can see the instruction here. You can use something called Bot Framework Emulator here to test the bot, and this is the URL that you will need to type here. This will be your host name /API/messages, and this is the host name that we have. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going here. This is the emulator, and if I click connect, so we should be now connected to our bot, which is running locally on my machine. So let me type hello. And if everything is working fine, then you will be seeing the message getting exchanged in this right hand corner. And since we use the Echo bot template, what this template does is it just gives you the information back in terms of whatever the user types. And this is the simple example of a bot. We haven't done anything extra, but this is just to showcase to you that you can start developing bots on your machine and you can test those bots locally. The next sort of demo I will be showing you is using the Q&A maker. Because if this is the first time you are working with the bot, then you can have a really sophisticated bot within few clicks, as long as you have access to Azure subscription. So for that, what I'll be doing is just use your favorite browser and then just search for Microsoft Q&A maker. And the URL you are looking for is qnamaker.ai. And you can sign up for Q&A maker for free. And once this page loads, if you are in front of a machine where you can also follow the steps along with me, please do that. So you can also have a working bot at the end of this talk. So click sign in, and you can sign in with your existing Azure account, or you can also sign in with your free as a free account as well. The first thing we need to do is once we are end up signing is we need to create a knowledge base. And knowledge base is nothing but where your all the information will be there, and that information will be available to use inside in the box as a form of in the bot as a form of Q&A. So let's click on this create a knowledge base. And the first thing we need to do is we need to create a Q&A service. And that service needs to be hosted in Azure. If you don't have this service already created, just click on this button, create a Q&A service, and it will launch Azure portal for you. And here you just need to provide a bunch of information to create this service. So enter a name. Here I will give it a name as M365 Q&A service 01. And then you provide the subscription name, the pricing tier. You can sign up with the free tier as well, which is F0, but only one free tier is allowed per subscription. And I have already used that, so I have to go with the paid subscription here. Then you have to specify the resource group. And the Azure search pricing, again, you can go with the free tier or you can go with the paid tier here. Then the Azure search location. One thing you should keep in mind, especially if you are using any kind of public cloud, is any kind of assets or resources you are creating, make sure you created those in the same geographical location. So in this case, since I am located in the East Coast, anything that I will be creating in Azure, I will make sure I'll create in the East Coast data center. So I'll be going with East US here, and this should be the name of our Q&A maker app. And then website location, again, I will be selecting that as East US. And for application inside, again, I'll be using East US. And once you enter all this information, just click on create, and this should create a Q&A maker service for you. I'm not going to go create this because I have already created this service. And also this service will take a couple of minutes. Once it is created, just click on refresh button here. And you can select the Microsoft Azure directory ID. And if this is not the one that you are seeing, then just click on select tenant. And here you can select the other tenant that this particular account have access to. Okay, and then select the corresponding subscription where you have created the Azure, the Q&A maker service. And then here in the drop down, you should be seeing that service here. And again, when you create the service, that time you have to specify the language. And by default, we have 13 language available right now. That means if you are working for a a global organization, then you can create a knowledge base in multiple languages as well. For this demo, I'll be going with English. And since we are still going with the COVID-19 pandemic, what I will be doing is I'll be creating a knowledge base from the CDC website on the latest and greatest information on COVID-19. So I'll be giving a name as a CDC COVID-19 info. Step 4 is which is very, very important, and that will show you the power of this Q&A maker is. So here you can provide the URL of your public facing website where the information is hosted. If your information is not available publicly, let's say if it's behind a firewall or if it's on a SharePoint site, you can extract that information in the form of a PDF file or document file, and you can upload those files from your machine as well. So what I'll be doing is I'll be quickly searching for COVID-19 CDC FAQs. If we have that page, yes, looks like that page is available to us. No, this is not the correct link. The link we are looking for is this from cdc.org. So this is the page where all the information is available for the COVID-19. What we would like to do is we scan this page and create a knowledge base from it. So what I'll be doing is I'll be providing the URL of this page here. And the next thing I'll be doing is the persona. So here, the persona, um, I will be selecting here decides what kind of experience the bot will give, especially the question you are asking is not in the knowledge base. And looks like there are some issues with my bandwidth. So what I'll be doing is I'll be disconnecting my video here. Okay, so now here you can see the various options. The person I will be selecting here is the witty, where if the answer is not there in the knowledge base, then it will come back with some witty answers. And once everything is entered, the next thing we'll do is just click on create a knowledge base. Again, this will take some time depending on how much information you have. Since this page has a lot of information, maybe this will take maybe a couple of minutes.
Sorry about that. I shared the wrong screen, Prashant.
Okay, no worries. Wrong screen in the sense you're showing your screen or?
Yeah. So you have to share yours again. Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, looks like I had to start sharing again. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
You're good.
Okay, now the knowledge base has created and it took like maybe 1 or 2 minutes. The next thing we had to do is just click on save and train. And these questions, we can edit these questions. We can also edit the answers as well. And we can also add our own Q&A pair as well. Like how is the M365 event? And I can then add answer. It's been great. Organizers. And the next thing is then click on save and train. And once this step is done, then we can test like how exactly this will work directly in the same user interface. So this will take maybe a minute or two. Then I will click on the test button here. And let's ask a question like what is novel corona virus? And if the information is presented in the knowledge base, then it will come back with the answer. All right, it came back with the answer. Now let's ask the same question with a little bit differently. I will be misspelling the novel. I will be misspelling this question. And coronavirus, and see if this service is able to comprehend that. So even though I misspelled the question, it was still able to comprehend that, hey, the question is related to the coronavirus, and since it was able to find the answer in it, it gives us back that answer. Now let's ask something which we definitely know will not be there in the knowledge base, like when this pandemic will be over. I'm pretty sure CDC will not have this information, and the reason we got this particular response because we use the persona as witty. If you go with professional or no persona, then you'll get a standard answer that this information is not available in the knowledge base. Now, if you like what you saw, the next thing you should be doing is publishing this knowledge base. And once you publish, then you can start using this knowledge base in any application, as long as that application allows you to consume the REST-based APIs. So if you see on this page, we have a sample code available where how to consume this knowledge base using the Postman or using the curl. And if you see, basically this service is available to this particular knowledge base is available to us as part of a API. And as long as we provide the right path and also the right uh, endpoint key. And if you ask the question, then we should, in the response, we should get the answer back. But what we are interested is in creating a bot. So next thing I'll be doing is click on create a bot, and this will launch Azure portal, and we will be creating a bot which will be using this Q&A maker service or Q&A maker knowledge base and create a bot for us. So a lot of things will be already pre-built for you, like the bot handle will come predefined for you, but you can always change that. Then the location, again in the pricing tier, you can go with the free tier, but I have only restriction is you can go with the F0 only once per subscription. So I have already used that, so I'll be going with this one. And here you can specify the SDK language. Since we are using Azure for the bot deployment, our choices are limited with C# and Node.js. But if you are not deploying your bot to Azure, then you can use Java as well as Python for your bot development.
Hey, Prashant.
Go ahead.
I have a question about other examples other than a help desk that you could use these web bots.
Go ahead.
What other examples besides a help desk would use these bots?
So help desk is very common, but you can use to get, let's say, you can also create a bot where it acts as your personal assistant. Where let's say if you are familiar with SharePoint, and if you have to access a particular document, you can ask that bot like, "Hey bot, can you give me this document?" And you can give either a voice-based command, like you can create a voice-based bot, or you can create a chat bot where give me this particular report from so and so person. And then bot behind the scene then make REST API calls and get that document from SharePoint. And it can use various APIs behind the scene. It can either use Graph APIs or it can use SharePoint Search APIs and give that document for you. So that's one of the use case. You can also use that to, let's say you want to schedule a meeting with someone, or you would like to reserve a meeting room. You can use a bot to do that for you. There is a good template available from Microsoft. Let me pull that for you, which is virtual assistant and skill template. So using this template, you can automate a lot of things, and it will basically act as your virtual assistant and can do a lot of complicated stuff for you. However, you will need to be a developer and you need to add appropriate support for that. So that a bot will be doing the stuff that you want to do.
Thanks.
Okay. So you can treat, as I mentioned, coming back to my original analogy, a bot is nothing but a website. So if you are familiar with SharePoint, we can write a custom web parts in SharePoint. And when it comes to customization, sky is the limit. Same is if you go with Microsoft Bot Framework, sky is the limit in terms of what you can achieve and what you can do, as long as you have right resources handy. Okay. So here we are at the page where we'll be creating a bot. Then this authentication key for Q&A service is already pre-built for us because we came from this particular page. And then we had to select the app service plan to host the bot, then whether we would like to have application insights or not. And the second or third or last option is Microsoft App ID and password. If you would like to integrate this bot with our Microsoft 365, then we have to add Microsoft App ID and password to have a tighter integration with the bot and your personal user account. That means if you would like to limit the kind of information the bot will be showing you, depending on the user permission, then you can do that using here where you create the app ID and password in your Azure Active Directory, and then you basically provide the information there. But for this demo, I will not be covering that. I will be just showing a plain example. So here I'll be click create, and this should create a bot in next 2-3 minutes. So looks like this one is already done. So what I'll be doing is I'll be using M365 Q&A bot. Okay. And then click create. If everything is right, then the deployment of the bot will start. And if you notice, so far we haven't written a single line of code, but still we are creating and deploying a bot in Azure using Q&A Maker knowledge base. So this is a good time if you have any additional questions. Do you see any additional questions, Rob, in the chat window?
I do not. Nope, everything's good so far.
Okay, so this operation will take a couple of minutes to finish, and once it is there, then we will be going to the actual bot page in Azure and then see various configuration options. All right, looks like the deployment is successful. Then I will click on go to resource. And this is the page where you'll see all the information about this bot, which we have deployed into Azure. The first thing we'll be checking is test this bot. I can test this bot right away in this particular Azure portal. So let's me type hello and ask some questions about the COVID-19. What is novel coronavirus? And if everything is working fine, then we will get the answer back, and this answer will be from CDC's website. So looks like the bot is working as expected. Now the next thing I'll be doing is deploying this bot to the Microsoft Teams. So by default, when you deploy a bot, that bot is already deployed as a web chat. But you can also deploy that bot to other channels as well. And here you'll see we can configure this bot as a Cortana channel. I can configure as a direct line channel or Microsoft Teams. And there are some additional options available as well. Like I can deploy it to Facebook, Skype, Twilio, Slack, Kik. So let's click on the Teams. And that's it. This is the only page you will be seeing if you would like to deploy this bot to the Teams. And the only option we have to select is whether you would like to deploy this to the Microsoft Teams commercial or for the government. I will be going with the commercial and click save. And then if I agree to the terms of service, click agree. And this bot now should be available to test in the Teams as well. So I'm going back to the Teams here. And if I click on this Teams tab, what I'll be doing is copy this address. And then next thing I'll be doing is I will be going to my Microsoft Teams and launching this particular URL. So without even doing any additional steps, I should be able to test this bot here itself in the Teams. All right, so you can see here, this is the name of our bot. And then I can start interacting this with bot inside the Teams as well. All right, everything is working fine. Let's ask a simple question just to confirm whether this particular bot is able to get the information from the Q&A Maker knowledge base or not. So let me ask the question, what is novel coronavirus? And if everything is working fine, then we got the answer. The next question, which was the custom question we added, how is if there is an answer for this question, the answer will come back. And this particular question answer pair we added later on, and this is not from the CDC site as well. So this will tell you that once you create a knowledge base, you can add new pair of question answers, and then you can also update the existing question answers. Now we like what you saw. Looks like everything is working fine when it comes to the integration with the Teams. The next thing we will be seeing is how we can, okay, so the bot is available. How we can test this bot or how we can deploy this bot now to the team so that it is available as an app for us. So there are multiple ways you can test the bots. So this option where you click on get embed codes. Here you can get this code for the MS Teams. If you would like to test this bot as a web chat, so that you can add either as an iframe in SharePoint, or if you would like to add that on a public facing website, you can do that as well. So if you would like to add this bot on a, let's say, existing SharePoint site without having to do additional integration, you can do that quickly by adding this bot as iframe. So let me show you that real quick here. So I copied this code here. And only thing I need is this key. So as long as I have this URL and the key, I should be able to add this bot as a iframe in any application where iframes are allowed. So if I go here and now if I paste this link into any browser, I should be able to access this bot. So you see here at the bottom of the screen, we have a chat bot, a chat box. So if I type hello here, it should come back with answer. And then let me ask, what is novel corona virus? So that means the bot is working and I can add this link as iframe in any other page. It can be SharePoint page or any other public facing website or internal website. And as long as we can we can talk to this particular URL, you should be able to infuse this bot in your application. The next thing is the build phase. Like if you click on the build button, so far we haven't written a single line of code to create this bot. And this bot is doing a very basic things where it just like giving us the answer from the knowledge base. And if you would like to extend this bot further, all you have to do is just click on the build tab here, and you can download the entire source code that Microsoft has used to deploy this bot. So this is a really good feature of Azure bot service, where it will also give you the source code that you can download and start adding the additional customization to that. Now, the next thing is if you had to add this bot as a Teams app, then you had to follow additional steps. So let me pull that for you. So these are the steps. And again, I will not be going through these steps in detail because there are a lot of steps you have to do here. And it will not be possible to cover that in next 9 minutes. But on this link, if you go here, you have a step-by-step instruction from Microsoft how to create a bot from Microsoft Team. Again, you have two options where you would like to start without Azure subscription or with Azure subscription. If you go with Azure subscription, then things will be easy for you, where you go to the steps and then finally you create a app for your bot and deploy that bot into the Teams. And if you don't see the option to create the apps, custom apps for that, so just go here and find out whether you can create the personal apps or not. Apps or not. And then here, then you can go and then start adding your own manifest by following the steps which are mentioned here. For example, these are the steps. Like in the Teams client, you can click on App Studio, and then you can, if the App Studio isn't installed, then just by searching it. So that means just go here, copy this, and go to your Teams client here, and go to search and click on App Studio. If the App Studio is not installed, then it will give you option to install it. If it's already installed, just click open. And if you click on the manifest editor, then you can start creating a new bot. So if you click on create a new app, then you just provide a name of your bot, and in the bots tab, then you provide additional information like what kind of bot it is, whether it's a new bot or whether it's an existing bot. And once you do that, you will be able to add this bot to the various teams from the apps tab itself. So like if I click on the bots here in the Microsoft Teams, so these are the bots which are available for us out of the box that we can add to the various teams. Some of the bots are from Microsoft, some of the bots are from third-party product team, some of the third-party vendors as well. So if you go with the registration steps for your custom built bot, you will be able to see that bot here as well. So other users or other owners can then add those bots for you. The last thing is, okay. So let me know if you have any questions before I go into the last section of the talk. Any more questions, Rob, that we can address?
Nope, so far just that one.
Okay, so since we are talking about Microsoft 365 and also Teams development and also the other talks are on the topic of Power Platform and some of the latest and greatest information about SharePoint. So in case you would like to explore that and you would like to explore that into your own tenant, so there is a really easy way to get your personal Microsoft 365 developer tenant. Just go to this particular link and sign up for a developer program. Using that, you get your personal Microsoft 365 E5 subscription for free, which comes with 25 users, all the features that are available with E5, and it's valid for 3 months. It's a really good way to self-train yourself. And also the account that you will be using will have a tenant admin access. That means you'll have all the access that you need to try out various features in Microsoft 365. And you can also sign up for a free trial. And to deploy the bot in Azure or to take help of Q&A Maker service, you need to have Azure subscription. So there are multiple ways you can get Azure subscription. One is the recommended way where if you would like to try out Azure for your personal training and development, get the Azure subscription through MSDN subscription. If you already have MSDN, then with MSDN you get $150 credit per month for free. And you don't need to use credit card. Then second option is you can always sign up for the free trial where you need a credit card, and right now you get $200 of credit for free, which you can use within 1 year. And any service which is free inside Azure, you will not be get charged for that, and you can use that for a long time. There is another program from Microsoft called Microsoft Imagine. It used to call DreamSpark before, where you don't need a credit card, but you need a valid subscription, valid .edu account from a participant school or institution. And using this program, you get a valid Azure subscription without credit card. However, the subscription comes with limited feature set. So these are the key takeaways. Hopefully the stuff covered today made you excited about the bots, and you'll go home and play with those. And if you don't have access to Office 365 and to try out few things, definitely check out the developer program.
All right, can you leave that last? Oh, I'm sorry. Leave that last slide up there for just 1 second, so I can put that in the chat.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Almost done. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. And these are the things we covered today. And these are the reference links. So thank you very much for the organizers. And I know like it takes a lot of time and effort to organize the events of this scales, and special thanks to the Rob, who's our producer for the day for this particular track. Without their help, this event is not possible. And please provide us our feedback. The feedback, there is a couple of links. One is for the speaker feedback, and another is for the event feedback. Your feedback is highly appreciated. With that, we are to the last end of the talk, where if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, feel free to contact me on Twitter or on LinkedIn, or email me if you have any additional questions, not only on the today's topic, but any other topic like in Microsoft ecosystem, like SharePoint, Office 365, or Azure in general. And I will be posting the slides on my SlideShare account. And I think I'll be sharing the link with the organizers as well, so they can share those links later with you. With that, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you very much, and definitely provide us the feedback using this link.
Thank you, Prashant. That was awesome. I didn't realize it was that easy to do these bots. So it's something I wish I would have done when I was working at Vanguard.
Oh, so you're not working at Vanguard anymore?
I am not. We parted ways back in May, and now I'm going to be starting a different future. So the whole Office 365 suite and Microsoft 365 is going to be something that's going to be kind of pushed to the side for me. I'll probably still tinker a little bit, but.
Okay. So let me know if you have any questions. Also, a couple of links, Rob, can you post in the chat window regarding the upcoming event? One is, if you would like to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn link. And also, if you are interested in learning more about the bots development, then a free event is coming up on July 31st. This is the link where you can sign up for that. With that, thank you very much, and stay safe and stay healthy.
All right. Thank you, Prashant. You have a great rest of your week, and hopefully we'll see you sometime tomorrow as well. And just for everybody else, let me just pop something up on my screen that I did by accident earlier. Tomorrow's sessions. Come on here. Let me share my screen here. Where'd you go? There we go. So tomorrow's sessions begin at noon again, and Peter Ward will be doing the keynote. And then for the so it looks like the Flyers track is not tomorrow, but we still have the other 3 tracks for the Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies. And as you can see, I have them on my screen. So if any of you are interested, you can obviously go up to the top of the page and click on the sessions and get a little more detail about what those sessions are. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for attending. And please feel free to give us as much feedback as possible. It is greatly appreciated. All right, everybody have a great day.